Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. We sincerely appreciate your viewership. It does mean the world to us. Us, that's right. Here I am with you on TLTG Reviews YouTube channel. Ross, my brother, thank you so much for having me on the channel today. I really do appreciate that, man. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Dave. I have a channel called CALI'S GROOM. On the channel, I do like to talk about everything that has to do with men's grooming. I also love to share my passion, my love for fragrances. So when I think of versatile fragrances, I think of fragrances that I could wear all year long, that are going to do well in casual settings, like right now when I'm dressed in just a t-shirt and jeans, but also when I'm dressed up and suited up to go into the office or take my girlfriend out on a nice date. These all have to work in all of those scenarios there.
As you guys can see, I got my buddy Dave from CALI'S GROOM over here. We're talking about versatile fragrances. So one of the most versatile fragrances in my collection, hands down, definitely one of the higher quality ones as well, is from Argos. It's Argos Pour Homme. That's right. For all the hype and praise that Triumph of Bacchus and Baccio Immortelle get, this is the one if you're looking for a signature scent. If you like fresh, clean, soapy type of vetiver, and I mean super high quality vetiver as well, look no further than Argos Pour Homme. If you're just looking for that one fragrance that screams of quality, has all the masculinity, yet light enough, fresh enough, without being too overbearing to go in super high heat, yet enough power and performance to really work in the cold. All seasons, all situations, t-shirt to suit and tie, doesn't matter. It just works. There's a lovely bergamot citrus in here, a very believable, authentic, juicy bergamot. Not so much bitter, very, very juicy bergamot. And like I said, a lot of vetiver and woods really come out for me on this one. It's a very clean fragrance. I'm not a big fan of vetiver fragrances unless they're done right and they're nice and clean. This one is all of that and then some. Like I said, it performs. It's 8 to 12 hours depending on your skin. I've never gotten less than 9 or 10 hours, to be completely honest with you, every time I've worn this one. And like I said, versatility, that's what this was built for. And that's Argos Pour Homme.
In the first spot here, Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme, synonymous with both of our channels. If you guys don't know what this is, it's a beautiful classic meets modern in this awesome take on a fougere fragrance here. So you have a nice citrus opening, juicy pear there. As the fragrance develops, starts to transition toward the heart of the fragrance, you get this awesome barbershop type feel that's going to remind you of classic fougere fragrances from the olden days, if you will. As the fragrance does start to settle and dry down, you're going to notice and detect, perhaps pick up some oud, nice spices. You have some woods also there. And I know what you're thinking, man, this sounds like a deep, rich fragrance. And it is. However, if you control the trigger on this, this will work wonders in the summer, especially at night in the summer. Fantastic one. Great performance. I'm talking 10 hours easy and then some, you know, but we'll say 10 hours just to be fair. So that's Signature Pour Homme from the house of Zaharoff.
So my next pick for this situation is one that doesn't get a whole lot of love, to be completely honest with you. But when I think most versatile fragrances, this is one of the first fragrances that comes to mind. It works well from suit all the way down to t-shirt, just like everything else we've been talking about. Any season, maybe spray a little bit heavier in the colder weather, and you know, do as you please in the hot weather. But Givenchy, gentlemen only. This is a very lovely pink pepper, violet leaf, smoky birch type of scent. That's really the most prominent things I get from it. I get a little bit of vetiver, but it's mostly, I get a lot of violet leaf out in the opening with some pink pepper. That adds that little bit of, just that little touch of sweet spice, and I get birch pretty much the whole way through. Birch is probably the most dominant note here. Cedar wood's not overbearing in here, but it does have a nice woody backbone and woody nature from that cedar wood in the dry down. I don't get much patchouli or anything like that. Like I said, it's mostly violet leaf, pink pepper, some woods, and a lot of birch. Very lovely, very versatile. Slightly above average performer for me in that 7-hour realm. Pretty much every time I wear it, 6-7 hours is kind of the religious range of longevity I get. Not a real strong projecting fragrance, but you'll have a nice little trail in the first 2 hours or so. People will be able to smell you. You'll get whiffs of yourself throughout the day. Not one you have to readily apply all the time, at least in my experience. But again, this one screams versatility. It's the type of scent DNA that'll set you apart a little bit because it doesn't smell like everything else. Yet at the same time, there's nothing challenging about it. It's very easy to wear. It smells of a little bit of class without being too serious. Hence the reason it dresses up and dresses down so easy. And that's Givenchy. Gentlemen only.
Next, I want to talk about a fragrance that a lot of you are sick to death of hearing about, but I absolutely love it. Of course, fantastic atomizer. You already know what I'm talking about. SAUVAGE. DIOR SAUVAGE. This is the Parfum. Nice citrus burst there in the opening. Also, you guys know what it is. It's centered around that ambroxan bomb. There's also a hint, a little bit of sweetness here. Perhaps some woods thrown in as well. What a gorgeous fragrance, man. I absolutely love this one. This is my favorite concentrate here, the Parfum. Absolutely love it. You know, you have that nice, comfortable scent cloud. It's not shouting, it's not projecting for miles or anything like that. But when somebody comes close to you or you walk by somebody, they're going to do one of these. Hey, what are you wearing? I'm telling you, this stuff smells absolutely incredible. If you haven't tried it, you need to get your nose on this one. Also, you're going to get great performance out of it. I'd say anything over 6 hours is great. 7-8 hours is what I get on it. Even longer if I do spray my clothes. DIOR SAUVAGE has to be the Parfum though.
While I know a lot of you are going to say, I would go with the EDP, I get it. I understand the EDP is fantastic. It's definitely the most popular one in the line. But for me, YSLY, the EDT, has just been a magic elixir for me. It's worked wonders. I've worn it on dinner dates, I've worn it on lunch dates, I've worn it sitting around the house, I've worn it out and about, I've worn it to work, I've worn it for everything since I've got it. I've worn it several times and I can't get enough of this one. It performs just right. It has all of the freshness that's kind of missing from the EDP because the EDP is a bit sweeter, a lot more sage, a little bit more cloying. It's a lot more dense. It's a beast. It's an absolute beast, the EDP. Whereas this one lightens it up, freshens it a lot, doesn't strip down too much projection and longevity. Still a 6 to 8 hour fragrance in my experience with this fragrance, even in the hottest of weather that I've gotten so far anyways, because the hottest weather's been around 80 degrees over here. Not super hot, I get it. More like spring weather. But it's definitely projected well enough to where I've gotten several compliments from this fragrance, and it's one that I've worn with a t-shirt, I've worn with an Oxford. It can go all over the board with its versatility. I had to put this one in for my 5, and like I said, I know a lot of people would say the eau de parfum here, and I totally get it. Not saying I wouldn't. I don't have a bottle anymore. I had a decant. I don't have a bottle yet. I will get a bottle eventually, but for me, this does everything I wanted the EDP to do in the several times I wore the EDP. So I have a real strong love for this one. Super, super versatile blue fragrance in my collection that has immediately become one of my favorites since I got it. You guys know that if you watch me regularly because I've featured this one several times in the last 6 weeks or so because it's a damn good fragrance. Overshadowed by the EDP. I'm talking about YSLY EDT.
So the next fragrance I'm going to bring to you is, of course, PRADA L'Homme. This is on many people's top lists for best office fragrance for good reason. This stuff is absolutely incredible. Incredible. Opens up with this gorgeous bright note of neroli. As it transitions toward the heart is really where the stuff shines. That marriage between carrot seeds and iris gives this just a beautiful powdery experience here. Some nice light touches of white florals. You also have some woods here in the base. Fantastic one. Great performer. I get about 6-ish hours on this one. Not super loud from projection to end. It's not going to fill up a room or anything like that. Just a great one. But here, you do have to appreciate powdery fragrances to appreciate this. I love me some powdery fragrances. I absolutely love this stuff. I just added this not too long ago, a couple of months ago, and you could see I put a nice sized dent in there for only having it in that short amount of time. So PRADA, L'Homme, if you haven't checked it out, you owe it to yourself to check this stuff out.
Yes, there's a ton of ways to smell like this fragrance for a way cheaper. And there's also a ton of ways to smell like this fragrance that perform better. But Creed AVENTUS. Sometimes you just want to wear Creed AVENTUS. For as many ways as I personally have to smell like this scent DNA, sometimes I just want to wear the original. Because none of them hit quite like the original does. You know, I like Club de Nuit Intense Man. Hell, I don't dislike Mont Blanc Explorer. I've worn it several times. And everything in between, to be honest with you. I don't have all of them, but I have a lot of different ways to smell like this fragrance. It's just something about the original. The actual bottle of Creed AVENTUS. I don't know, it makes me feel differently than the others. Maybe it's the fact that it is, I don't know. But it's a dominating type of scent profile. It's very assertive. It's very unique. When you smell all the fragrances that smell like this, you say it smells like Creed AVENTUS. There's no denying the scent DNA because it's an original scent DNA. And people know this one. People pick it up on the trail just like they would on Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel. It's that worldwide popular at this point. And I know it's kind of boring to talk about at this stage, but there's no denying. It's as versatile as they come. You can do everything with this. It works year round. Lighten up on the sprays if it's super hot in your area during the summer. Throw a few more on if it's super cold in your area in the winter. Works in every situation. Obviously dresses up very easy, but nothing that you can't wear with a, ironic t-shirt or whatever have you, whatever your style is. If you've got the money to spend on it, it's not a bad way to go. One of the best and most versatile fragrances ever created. Creed AVENTUS.
So the next fragrance that I would like to talk about comes from the house of Giorgio Armani. This one is ACQUA de Jo. This is PROFUMO. Come on, say that with me. PROFUMO. So this one in here, we have that aquatic DNA of the original, but there's a twist thrown in here. So what they've thrown in here is they've thrown in some clary sage, some incense, some patchouli, and what that does is that gives it an aromatic, earthy type of feel to the fragrance. So aquatic meets earthiness here. Absolutely stunning juice. I wear this stuff constantly. I love this. That's perhaps why I don't do weekly rotation videos, because this would be in a lot of them. But nonetheless, this stuff is excellent no matter what you guys are doing. Great for office settings, date settings, everything like that. I set the tone in the beginning. That's why I didn't talk about it throughout the course of the video here. But just great all year round. And I haven't met anybody yet that's told me that I don't smell nice or they didn't like the way I smell when I was wearing this stuff. So great one if you haven't checked it out. ACQUA de Jo, PROFUMO.
Well, since we're covering a lot of obvious ones here with Sauvage and ACQUA de Jo, PROFUMO, I might as well hit you guys with Bleu de Chanel, PARFUM. Just like Dave's favorite Sauvage is PARFUM, as is mine. My favorite Bleu de Chanel is the PARFUM as well. Whereas I don't feel like you lose enough of the freshness to where you can't wear this one in the highest of heat. I have worn this one in the dead of South Houston's heat before, and it did just fine. Still lasts all day on my skin, 9-10 hours. It's not a real heavy projection. It's much more intimate on the projection, but it's still noticeable because it's such a dense oil concentration. It creates it lingers in the air a bit more because the density's there. It's a rich scent that comes off of you, very, very rich and full. So it's able to linger maybe a second or two longer than an EDT or an EDP would because they're a much lighter, airier concentration. This is lovely. The lemon zest in the opening is just so beautiful in this one. And the ISOE Super blended with all the warm woods that's in here. This is damn near a masterpiece designer fragrance, to be completely honest with you. I think it's great. It's an obvious choice for a versatile fragrance video because this one does everything. Does smell a bit more polished and professional than the other two concentrations. This one dresses up even better than those do in my opinion, but this one's still no slouch if you just want to wear a nice white t-shirt on a hot summer's day, or even a tank top by the pool. I probably wouldn't wear this for that. There's other options for it, but point being, it works year round. You can wear it for anything. There's never a bad time to smell like any of the concentrations of Bleu de Chanel, but in my opinion, especially Bleu de Chanel Parfum. It's definitely my favorite, and in my eyes, the best version.
The last fragrance I would like to talk to you guys about is a fragrance that I've been absolutely in love with for the past, I don't know, God, 6-7 years that I've been into fragrances, but this is from the house of Versace. This one here is Versace Pour Homme. So good. I love this stuff. Gotta spray it in the air, baby. So this one is very fresh, very zesty. You know, you have lemon, you have bergamot in here. You also have cedar wood, clary sage to give it that, again, with that aromatic feel. You have tonka bean, you have musk in here. Stuff is absolutely incredible. Performs great in the summertime. It beats the heat. It cuts through the cold. It works well in the office. Date night, the girlfriend, she loves it. She loves all of these, actually. So Versace Pour Homme is an excellent one if you guys haven't checked it out. One of my all-time most complimented summer fragrances. Maybe that does have a lot to do with the fact that I've owned like 6 or 7 bottles of the juice, but nevertheless, guys, I had to throw one cheapie in here. Versace Pour Homme. Do check it out if you haven't already, because you could find it on discounters on the cheap, under 50 bucks. Hey, Ross, shout out to you, man. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time, guys. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Take care.
Well, guys, that's our 10 picks, and until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Dave, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on the channel and doing this video with me. I greatly appreciate that. If you guys haven't already, I'll have Dave's channel linked down below. Make sure to go check his content out if you like what you see. Give him a subscribe, especially if you're into men's grooming. His channel is a bit more versatile in that way than mine is, whereas my channel is strictly fragrance. His is all about beard products, men's grooming, and fragrance on top of that. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 10 that we featured in this video, you give it a spray now, might end up thanking us later. Have a good one, guys.